Thank y'all for being here. I'm going to call the June 15th, 2017 county meeting to order. And I'll ask Pat Malone if he would mind doing that invocation.
Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for all that you have given us, this great area that we live in, for the rain that's coming. We ask for your blessings, your continued blessings. We ask you to guide this meeting, make all decisions in the best interest of all the citizens of Union County. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Just stand, Bill.
Yeah.
Royce, do you mind doing the pledge?
And salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two.
Thank you. May I see?
Yeah. I took lessons from Chuck. Yeah.
We're going to hereby approve the minutes of May 18th, 2017, last county meeting. Y'all should have a copy of those with you. And they hereby approved as presented. And I think I introduced Laura Driscoll at the last meeting, but just in case I didn't, she's back in the far back corner. She's our new accounting director, and she's learning not only what we do, but how we do it, and we're learning how she does it right at the same time. So working real good. We're proud to have her working in the county, and she's caught on very quickly and almost seamlessly. So we appreciate you very much. Glad that David Dyer, Chief, is here tonight. So I'm going to begin item number 1. It's an agreement. I hereby approve this agreement between Union County and Legacy Link for the required local share during fiscal year 2018 in the amount of $95,000. These funds are used by the Area Agency on Aging as match to draw down the federal and state monies for administration, coordination, information, and referral, employment training of older workers and volunteer programs. This program is provided through the Union County Senior Center. So just to make that a little more plain and less confusing, Legacy Link is a entity that takes all the federal monies and supervises that money transferred to the counties as well as the programs that come to the County Senior Center. So the money goes to them and then comes through them to the Senior Center to Union County for the work. And then the Senior Center gets some money, Meals on Wheels, but they also raise money from their own resources down there to provide some of those funding money. As I've said before, one of the best programs that I think is in the state or federal programs are Meals on Wheels. Item 2, I hereby approve this agreement between Union County and Communication Services Incorporated in the amount of $420 per month for the maintenance of radio and other communication equipment located at the 911 Dispatch Center. The duration of this agreement is from June the 1st, 2017 until May the 31st, 2018. Item 3 is an agreement. I hereby approve this agreement between Union County and Air Methods Corporation for emergency air medical transportation services through the helicopter for the county citizens and their household members from June the 1st, 2017 through May 31st, 2018. The amount of this agreement is $55,668, and the county is only responsible for about half of these funds, and we appreciate Union General picking up the bill on the other part. And Air Methods has been great to work with us and work with the county and giving us an unbelievably good deal, which helps save other taxpayers money, plus helps save you money if you happen to be unlucky enough to need helicopter service. But if we do, we've got it available. Item 4 is a settlement agreement. I hereby accept this settlement agreement between Union County and Winter Construction Company in the amount of $20,000 payable to Union County. This has to do with water leaks that the company has been unable to stop at the community center. we are in the process of having a specialty company come in and make the repair, and this is a settlement we made with them for that work. Number 5 is an appointment. I hereby appoint Jack Parker to the Union County, a renewal of his term to the Union County Board of Assessors for a 5-year term to end June the 1st, 2022. And we appreciate Jack's long and continued service. He's had some health issues, but it's improving. We hope he'll be doing well. Number 6 is grant acceptance, which we always enjoy doing. I hereby accept this matching grant award in the amount of $121,736, which is made under the Accountability Court State of Georgia Grant Program from the period July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. The grant is from Mental Health Court. This will be funding coming through the governor's office, but appropriated by the Georgia legislature to help keep the mentally ill out of our jails and instead provide them with local intervention programs and counseling. The hope is that over time the recidivism rate will be reduced and the cost to society and the legal system and prison system in jails will also be reduced. There are 3 additional accountability court grants for this same period of time. They include, I hereby accept this accountability court's grant for adult felony drug court. North, we have a north and a south. We have 4 counties in our circuit, Union Towns, Lumpkin, and White. So north, of course, is Union and Towns, and south is White and Lumpkin. So we have a grant for adult felony drug court north in the amount of $223,080. And then we have, I hereby accept this accountability court's grant for adult felony drug court south in the amount of $214,192. And I hereby accept this accountability court's grant for family drug court in the amount of $195,858. All of these courts are in an effort by the state of Georgia to keep the jails and prison population down by trying to help many people back into society where they will eventually be an asset instead of a liability to the communities. As I've told you before, these programs are really working very, very nicely, and we appreciate the governor. The governor's one that really got this started, and so it's going to be a big assistance for not only our jail population, but state prison population as well. Item number 10 and 11 are 2 business licenses. These are the only types of business license issued in the county for the purpose of collecting the motel tax. I hereby approve the business license for the following 2 businesses: Guessman Cabin Rental and Sun Oak Cabin Rental. Number 12 is something I don't ever like to do, but occasionally we have to, is reschedule the next county meeting. The county meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July the 20th. Will be changed to Tuesday, July the 18th. We'll be having it two days earlier. And I have to go out of town to a meeting and we'll be tied up during that period. On Thursday, I have meetings on early Friday morning, and there's no way I can reasonably get there and leaving here late at night and have a long trip. So we're going to reschedule that meeting for 2 days early. Several comments I'm going to make about a few different issues. Last month, when discussing the purchase of the Devonport property, which is over next to the farmer's market, I went into pretty good detail here about that property purchase. And I mentioned in my remarks that we were purchasing the property with SPLOST funds, and that was an error. I knew that, but I guess I'm so used to we're purchasing stuff with SPLOST funds that I made an error in saying that. This was an incorrect statement I made, as the funds actually will come instead from our surplus fund balance in the county. And that's funds that we have reserved and collected from previous years of reserve monies. We still have a strong reserve base, and we plan on replacing this money with that. But it's, I don't have the number in front of me. I think it's about 700, and maybe I do have it in front of me. $678,500 will be the property purchase, and it will not strain this account at all, and we'll be able to replace this money hopefully with surplus funds from this year, unless we have something come up that we don't anticipate. I'll also let you know that last month we've been working on, I told you we've been working on paving roads, and I've tried to have you a list this month. We applied for and were accepted for an LMIG grant for the Georgia Department of Transportation. For the year 2017, we received $659,248, which we're excited about, specifically for paving roads, asphalt paving and topping of roads. So far this year, we have paved a resurfaced Flat Rock Gap Road, Ivy Log Creek Road, Kings Road, Pearl Wright Road, Rogers Road, Parker Road, Cavender's Gap Road, Dewberry Road, Earl Patterson Road, Copperhead Road, and Wilmar Circle. We are required to match these funds with 30% of our own money, and this LMIG is called Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant. And the funds that we match this with are SPLOS funds, and it'll be about $200,000 to match this grant. In 2017, the state funded $659,248, as I mentioned above, and we'll match $200,000. This does not include the several miles of surface treatment. There was 9.2 miles of these roads, and this does not include the several miles of surface treatment paving we will do this year with our own crews. But we appreciate the state GDOT working with us this year, and the local GDOT office, who last year completed Highway 348 over the Richard Russell Highway, repaving it. Awesome job. And we'll pave Highway 180 to the Towns County line from 129 south to the Towns County line. They'll be resurfacing that sometime this year. They've already done the patching on it. And that will go all the way to the Brasstown Ball exit, where you take the highway to the Brasstown Ball. And then next year, they have scheduled already to resurface Highway 129 south from the top of the mountain all the way to the Blairsville city limits. So we'll be excited about all those improvements in the county that we don't have to pay for. There have been a couple of letters to the editor, one last week, and I don't know if y'all, I'm sure with Sean being here that he understands that everybody reads the paper every week. And so the ones that don't, we should be. But everybody that doesn't read it, so I'm gonna go over a couple of things and repeat something if you do happen to read the paper. Anyway, there were two letters to the editor. One was last week and one was this week. And it's not that I'm trying to attack somebody that's attacking me. It'd just be nice if people would call you up and say, hey, what's the deal with this? You know, instead of getting in the paper and putting information that's inaccurate or sometimes just an outright mistake. But anyway, to each his own, and we've always have that, and I'm sure we always will. But the one last week was related to the county purchase in Davenport property, and accusing me and the county of paying much more than the property is actually worth, based on the assessed value of the property. And we paid $52,000 an acre, and if you're of a mind reading the information in the paper, although I don't think they read it all from the last meeting, but we paid $52,000 an acre roughly for the property, and it's assessed at the tax assessor's office at $9,600 an acre. So I can't say that the logic of an unknowing person might say, well, if that's what you've got it on the books at, why are you paying that much? Well, I'm going to read you I'm going to read you what I put in the paper this week, just so that I don't make a mistake in talking about it, because I prepared this. But the letter to editor last week regarding the property of the county is purchased on 5/15 and boarding the farmer's market was extremely misleading. I am sure this gentleman did not intend it that way, It is true that over 13-acre parcel, the county will be paying $678,500 is only assessed for $168,000. However, this assessment is based on the property being used as a farm and not commercial property, and therefore it is assessed at a much lower price. To be a part of this program is called the Conservation Use Covenant Program. To be a part of this, designated by the state law, it requires property to be a minimum of 10 acres and signed up for a 10-year conservation use covenant, which means you either have to farm the property or let it grow trees or doing something simple over that 10-year period. If you decide to sell it during that 10-year period, there's a huge penalty for doing that. It has absolutely nothing to do with the commercial fair market value of the property. So they've owned this property for years, and it's been in this conservation use covenant. So therefore, the tax assessors can't really appraise it as a commercial property because they're still getting legally this covenant and protection. Therefore, in order to determine a reasonable price for the negotiations, I did what I thought was the normal thing to do, which was have a real estate appraiser go out and appraise the property and give us a value for the property. Now that was even difficult because there's so few comparables for them compared to, because there's hardly any commercial property changing hands along the 515 corridor. The latest one that was back in 2015 is the property where the Sears is located. That property sold for kind of a distress sale from a bank, sold at $42,000 an acre. So they did the appraisal based on that $42,000 an acre. So our attorney, I knew that the property owners that we were dealing with would not accept $42,000 an acre. And so I tried to get a number that they could work with, and I asked our attorney what's the most that we could go over the appraisal. And I already knew because he told me in the past, it's 15% above the appraised price. I figured if you can negotiate within that value, nobody can say that an appraisal is more accurate than that, because any two people appraise that property, you're going to get a different valuation anyway. So that's what we did. We made the offer at that, at the 15% increase, and they accepted the offer, and we were just tickled to death. And to give you a comparison, there are only 3 lots on 515. Now granted, a couple of them are right in the city, but those 2 lots, it's just a 1-acre lot now, are valued at $700,000. That's what they're asking for them. Now they might take 6 or 550, I don't know that, but they've got them priced at $700,000 for a 1-acre lot. We've got 13 acres with really 2 acres of that fronts on Highway 515 that would make 2 of those 1-acre commercial lots. So I feel like that even though we're not buying it for commercial use, I felt that we were well within a reasonable price boundary in making this purchase and this option at that amount of money. There's one other tract that's available that the buyer's pricing at $500,000 for a 1-acre tract. So we feel. So to take the fact that there's an appraisal, an assessment from the tax assessor's office on a farm at $9,600 an acre, and then accusing us, and if he just said, why are you doing that? But it was kind of an accusatory letter. You know, I can't help but get a little miffed sometimes with those, but I understand it at the same time as well. So I really shouldn't get upset about it. In my repeating my thing, and this was one of the things I put in the paper, in the future, if anyone has questions about anything related to county government, please contact us before you listen to someone who may not exactly have the accurate information that they need. And there's a few other comments in there. Most of them are halfway decent anyway. So this week there was another letter to the editor, and it wasn't a mean letter. They they were talking about a letter somebody put in the week before, and half of their letter, and the second half, they got on to me about the jail. And as you know, if you have read the paper, and I hope you have, because I spent so much time the last 4 weeks in my question and answer trying to explain to everybody the situation with the jail. This guy obviously might have read one of those last week, but I don't think he certainly read all of them. But anyway, the first thing he says was, paraphrasing, it's kind of ridiculous for me to think that we're not going to have to build another jail because the population of our county is doubled, more than doubled since I've been in office. So here again, I'm sure the guy didn't intend this, and he may have even been looking at the Towns County numbers and gotten them confused with ours. But what he basically said was our population went from 10,000 to 20-something thousand over this period of time. When in actuality, our population really never got down to that level. The lowest we had in 2000 was 17,289 was our population. And I'm going to try to get back on my notes here. 2000, the population was 17,289, not 10,000. And in 2010, 10 years later, it was 21,356. So it was in that 10-year period, it was a 19% increase, which was 1.9% per year growth. And that was that's a pretty hefty growth, because that was during that time, 2009, things started to slow down. But from 2000 on up to then, we were going at a pretty fast pace. One that's, you know, it was, if it continued at that pace, then we might, sure enough, be inundated. But that hasn't happened. So in 2010, it actually went up to, I told you, 21,356 was 1.9% a year. Then in 2016, the census has estimated our population today at 22,928. So we've gone from 21,356 in 2010. 6 years later, we're at 22,928. And that's a 7% increase, or a 1.2% per year. So our growth was at 1.9%. Now it's at 1.2% for the last few years. I expect that to tick up some. We may get up to the 1.5%. Even if we got up to 2% growth, we would only be at 23,845 by 2020, which is when he said we'd be at 30,000, keep growing. So nobody knows exactly about population numbers. They try to estimate and do the best they can. But these are the numbers that we've had and go by, and we feel pretty comfortable. At one time, back in early 2000, not long after I got in office, they actually estimated at one time that we might be in 40,000 population by 2025 or 2030. That's when everything in the whole, Georgia was really booming. But as happened with us and with all the other places, those numbers got back to reality, and they realized that they had overestimated those. So we also hope that as our population numbers grow, 1.5%, maybe the largest 2%, that hopefully our criminal population maybe won't grow quite that fast. As many people as our sheriff is arresting and putting in jails and sending to other jails, and they're getting sent to state prison, you would think that they would want to go to a county where they were less likely to get caught. So we're also hoping that will work itself out in the years to come too. This is not a very profitable place to do bad things, and if you do, you're going to get caught. And I appreciate the work the Sheriff's Department is doing with that, and continuing to keep and find people. Last, or I think it's close to last, several people have had questions about the property that we are purchasing from the Davenport family, and I'm going to show you the aerial photo in just a minute. I'll try to get up here where you can see it pretty good. We're actually acquiring this property this week. We've got it slated for a closing on Friday. And we'll be working in more detail on the planning for that over the winter when we really have time to get with the architect, the engineer, and do some really looking at the property. Planning right now, we're in the stages of just trying to get it cleaned up. They let us go ahead and start cleaning it up, bush hogging prior to the closing. However, it is for future use of the county. This could include ball fields, gym, playgrounds, many other possibilities. For example, we never imagined the splash park being at Mix Park when I bought, for the county, we bought that property years ago. We didn't even know what a splash park was back then. We also had never heard of an adult exercise park that we had at Mix Park. We certainly never thought about a kayak put in back in those days. We didn't know anybody that had a kayak, much less that had one. We didn't know that we were going to have, almost 6 miles of nature trails, a disc golf course, a dog park. But because we had the property and had it available and adjacent to property we already own, it gives us that option to be able to plan for and look for what we can do to provide for you to improve our quality of life over the years going forward. So I've always said I am interested in any property that we have or that adjoins us, and I think that was the case here. And we really appreciate the family that let us buy it at a price that we was on our limit, but they worked with us because they wanted the county to have it as well. And then right at the end, this property is about our future, continuing to make this place where people want to live, work, and play with excellent finances. I can brag a little bit, and the second lowest property tax rate in the entire state of Georgia out of 159 counties. I continue to talk about that, I continue to brag about that, and I continue to be proud of that because it's a sign that our employees, our public, and everybody here, the mayor and the city council and the county, the EMC, the phone companies, we all work together to try to do what's best for Union County. And because of that, I think we really have a great place to live, and I'm proud of it, and I hope that most everybody else is. So at this time, I'm going to adjourn the county meeting and open it up for public comments or questions. Surely after all that, nobody got any questions?
I read the paper, so I was already well informed.
Okay. Good comment. That may get you a free paper if you've got any with it. Well, if there are no other comments or questions? Oh, yes, thank you. I did want to show y'all this, just as I guess I'll get over here and close to the camera to start with. I'm going to hold it still here and I'm going to move it over that way. But this is the farmer's market building, you see right here. And in black, and this was actually a dark blue line that comes over here and goes around, is the current home property that we own in and around the farmer's market. This part in yellow right here with the black dot around the outside edge, that's the property we're purchasing. So we're surrounded on the back side. We own on the back side and all the way down one side. So it's not only going to give us, and we don't have any highway frontage right now. So not only is it going to connect us down the side and along the back of our property, it's also going to connect us to Highway 515, and we'll have almost 800 feet of frontage on Highway 515. And then if you see this little part jutting into our property right here, this is another property owner, and you may see some work out there that they're doing on their property, and we're working with them to try to swap out a little bit of property so that we can get this piece that sticks into our property, and at the same time we can give them a little piece up here that will help their property, help the commercial value of their property, but it's property that's too narrow for us to do any good, to do us any good. And we're also working with DOT and getting and sorry I don't have it on here, but getting a exit from the red light, a fourth exit from the red light that will come in here. The red light's actually right here. So it'll come in and the road would come in down along our property line to get here and then come into the farmer's market, or come on around to access this property. And they even have a circle drive that could come back out up here somewhere. So we think it's just for the way it lays in and around our property. Some guys had heard that it was floodplain, and I said, no, the only floodplain in this property is just a little corner right in here. The rest of this is all well out of the floodplain. So we started out, just as a review, we started out with an 8-acre tract where the farmer's market is. And once the farmer's market got going better than we thought it would, we had to come back and buy another strip of property from the Rogers family. Brought, I think it was 5 acres from them. This gave us a strip, so if you go over there now and park across the creek, that's on that little strip of property. And then we later went back and bought this corner back in here at the same time that we bought all this bottom land. And that came from the Rogers Wimpy family, and that was a 10-acre purchase. And then of course this is a 13-acre purchase. So it'll give us somewhere in the 42 to 43 acre parcel right here all together and all attached. So we think it's awesome and going to be a real asset for the county. Otherwise we wouldn't have done it. Did y'all see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you say it. So, that's all I have. If you do have any questions, just hang around and you're welcome to ask them or come by the office. Thank y'all very much for being here. Have a good rest of the week. It's going to be hot. I guess a little dry, but you were praying about rain. We had, and I was hoping Larry Garrett would be in here because he just got his car window soaked, his front seat soaked about an hour ago. It came for about 10 minutes out there. It rained really hard. Of course, I thought mine were down too, and I thought it when it went out there in the rain and rolled mine up too, but I'd forgotten to let mine down. But normally, when you're not used to that, it raining like that, you can do that. So anyway, we're enjoying the rain that we've had. Y'all have a good week.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. To the rest of you fathers, happy
Where's
Father's Day.